Hey, what's up, slackers? You caught me at a bad time. I've been watching The Owl House all day. It's this super cool show about a girl who accidentally ends up in another world that's magic. She ends up getting taken in by this criminal owl lady and they get into all sorts of hijinks. The story is really cool and takes its time setting up the rules and powers of the world. There's so many likable characters here too, and they each get their own time to shine and expand the plot. Also, representation that actually commits? That's crazy. Don't even get me started on the animation. This show has some really great standout moments that look absolutely beautiful. I'm totally digging this new era of, I think it's called Western Sakuga. I did not come up with that name, blame whoever did if it sounds stupid. All that to say is, I think Disney's got themselves a real winner with this show, and I can't wait to see where they go in the seasons to come. Bad news? What do you mean you got bad news? Google the Owl House right now? Okay. Alright, let me search this up real quick. You gotta be f***ing kidding me.
Please! Please! No!
Well, there goes another great animated show that ended way too soon. First Rise, Infinity Train, and now The Owl House. What's next, Craig of the... In all seriousness though, this really sucks. I can't be surprised, this is the same company that swore by the 65 episode rule. The Owl House was the last reason I was still keeping tabs on Disney television animation. I know there's other good stuff like Amphibia, Big City Greens, and The Ghost of Molly McGee, but the Owl House was what kept me coming back. I'd honestly put this show on the same tier as the DuckTales reboot and Gravity Falls.
It's not ridiculous. That's not ridiculous to say that.
Alright, slackers. I'm usually positive on this channel, but now it's time to rant. I'm channeling my inner red-haired YouTuber who doesn't like anything. Look at how angry I am now. Disney, you're lucky I can't cross my arms. First off, why would they even cancel this show? I know a lot of us thought it was because of the relationship between Luz and Amity, which I still feel like was a factor, but apparently it was because the Owl House didn't fit the Disney brand.
Are you serious right now, bro?
Not fitting the brand has got to be some of the dumbest I've heard in a while. Cause what even is the Disney brand at this point? To me, it just seems like Disney is a Frankenstein amalgamation of other companies and brands. Cause if we're being honest, none of these things go together. Not even in like a same universe type of way, but they just don't match. 15 years ago, if you asked me what the Disney brand meant, I feel like I could give you a concise answer. Back then, the Disney brand to me was family first entertainment for all ages, with a few exceptions pushing the envelope here and there, with something like Pirates of the Caribbean. But even that had historical ties to Disney. Now we got Star Wars and Marvel shoved down our throats till the end of time. Which, don't get me wrong, I like me some Marvel here and there. I just don't know what the heck they're talking about when they say the brand.
A clue what's going on here, but I'll act like I do.
Cause honestly, Disney has gone out of their way to have as little of a brand as possible unless it's something instantly recognizable. Let me explain. I think the perfect example of what I'm trying to talk about is Tron. I don't know about you, but I feel like the original Tron was made because Disney wanted something like Star Wars. There's no source that ever states if that's true or not. The similarities are definitely there. I mean, even just look at the posters. So let's just say the original Tron was made because of Star Wars. Years later, they say let's bring it back with Tron Legacy. It does alright, nothing crazy. I'll say personally, I really enjoyed this movie. Then, they plan a sequel and even make a cartoon, but cancel both because they bought Star Wars. And then a few more years later, they finally start making Tron 3 with Jared Leto of all people.
Jared Leto?
Because they realized we probably shouldn't only be making f***ing Marvel and Star Wars. This is what I mean. This mentality had a huge effect on the type of animated shows they were willing to make. Shows like Motor City and Tron Uprising were direct casualties to this, and they were super cool. Then they got replaced with honestly some of the worst Marvel cartoons I've ever seen, which is crazy because they came right after some of the best Marvel cartoons I've ever seen. In regards to other shows Disney produced, the overwhelming majority are way too short-lived and could have gone on. They never let their shows go on long enough to develop and become synonymous with their brand. Look at DuckTales, Kick Buttowski, Randy Cunningham and Wander Over Yonder. DuckTales only had 3 seasons and there were still places their story could have gone. Now the Owl House is just the latest casualty. Say what you will about Cartoon Network and Warner recently, but at least they commit to an identity and let it rock for a bit. They damn near perfected the duo comedy with Adventure Time, Regular Show, and Gumball, setting the tone for what a Cartoon Network show was at the time, and making stories and characters people are still talking about to this day. The closest Disney's ever got recently on the TV side was Gravity Falls. While other shows they've made since then have been great, none have had as big an impact. I was there. I remember when they were milking that show for everything it was worth, airing new episodes 3 months apart. It frickin' sucked. If only Disney believed in their other shows as much as they believed in Gravity Falls. I think that what sucks the most about the Owl House ending is that I feel like it didn't get a fair chance. They didn't even wait to see how well it would do on Disney Plus. They just axed it. Like, damn, at least wait till you get to see some data. Let me just stop before I spend an unnecessary amount of time current Marvel and DC, because enough people do that already. I said what I needed to say. In the end, what do I know? I'm just a slacker. I hate that Disney makes these banger shows and just discards them like nothing sometimes. I really thought the Owl House had a chance to go on for a bit. I mean, at least it's not every show. It's nice Star Versus and Amphibia got proper endings and Big City Greens is still going strong. It's just that this mindset makes it hard for me to get excited about any future project. Like, I want to be excited for Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur. It looks really cool, but I can't trust these guys. On the bright side, the Owl House is still getting an ending, even if it was forced. First episode of season 3 is airing in a few days of me writing this actually. So here's my thoughts on the new episode.
1 hour later.
It was pretty darn good. But yeah, slackers. The Owl House is a great show, gone too soon. Go ahead and like and do all that other stuff people always tell you to do. I'll see you next time. Later.